2411, Infiltrating Ice Heart Valley at Night. Published by Divine.Dao Library. Translator, Salavan and Godbrandy. Translation checker, Pew Pew Lasergun. Editor and proofreader, Leo of Zion Mountain and Dale Ligerkeys. Although he didn't know why Bing Yun suddenly began talking about her past, Yang Kai was sure that there was a reason, so he didn't interrupt her and kept listening. After I'd cultivated to a satisfactory height, I founded Ice Heart Valley in the Northern Territory and took in a batch of disciples. Ice Heart Valley slowly grew in strength, eventually becoming what it is today. However, I never forgot the life-saving kindness of that person. 3,000 years ago, I left Ice Heart Valley, pledging to find that senior even if I had to roam the entire star boundary. To repay that senior, I had to, at the very least, show my gratitude. Bing Yun faintly smiled. We cultivators are people who should repay every bit of favor we receive, let alone the kindness of saving one's life. Unfortunately, before I could make any significant progress, I was careless and fell into the solitary void-sealed world where I remained trapped for 3,000 years, until I met you. After discovering that she was trapped in the solitary void-sealed world for so long, Yang Kai was shocked. Bing Yun had been unable to increase her cultivation while in that place, which meant that she was a third-order Emperor Realm Master long before falling into the solitary void-sealed world. If not for her bad luck, during these 3,000 years, she might have been able to comprehend the secrets of the Great Emperor Realm. Finding that senior is a lifelong goal of mine. No matter where, I'll keep looking for that senior. I still need to express my gratitude, Bing Yun said resolutely. Yang Kai said, then, Ice Heart Valley. Bing Yun smiled faintly. Even if I am the founder of Ice Heart Valley, I can't protect the sect forever. If the disciples are competent and can allow it to prosper, it couldn't be any better, but if they lack the necessary skills, the sect will inevitably grow weaker. In this world, no sect or family can stand forever. Just like people, they rise and fall in a perpetual cycle. Yang Kai nodded. What senior says makes sense. Bing Yun continued, back when I left Ice Heart Valley, I didn't feel completely relieved. So I left behind something, an artifact created through a secret technique of mine, and told my disciples that if the sect ever fell into mortal danger and they had no other recourse, they could use that artifact to contact me, and I would rush back as soon as possible. Speaking until here, Bing Yun quietly took out a jade token from her space ring. Holding it in the palm of her hand, she said, just now, I felt an energy fluctuation from that very artifact. Yang Kai gazed at the jade token and noticed that a pale light was flashing from it, reminiscent of a firefly. His expression changed. Is Ice Heart Valley in danger? Bing Yun shook her head. I'm not sure. However, so many Emperor Realm Masters suddenly appearing in Ice Moon City is far from normal. It likely has something to do with the sect's troubles. Senior, how can I help? Yang Kai asked. Bing Yun had said all those things and even taken out this jade token, so she definitely wanted him to do something. I still need 2 or 3 more days to fully recuperate, so I am unable to leave this place for the time being. I want you to go to Ice Heart Valley and find out what has happened. Yang Kai immediately nodded. Okay, since Senior has made this request, I will do my best to fulfill it. However, Ice Heart Valley is one of the top sects in the Northern Territory, so it is not going to be easy to break in. If Junior is slightly careless and touches one of the protective barriers, I'm afraid that with my strength. If Yang Kai accidentally bumped into the sect defending array, he would be treated as an enemy by the entire sect. Even without Bing Yun, Ice Heart Valley had a considerable number of Emperor Realm Masters. As he would be heavily outnumbered at that time, it wasn't certain that Yang Kai would be able to escape. You don't have to worry about that. As long as you have my token with you, none of the barriers will hinder you. Bing Yun took out another token. This token was pure white and flawless, just as if it was carved from the most beautiful jade in the world. On its face was engraved the character, Yun. Yang Kai stretched out his hand and accepted the token. Bing Yun gave him the flashing jade token as well. With this other token, you'll be able to sense the location of the artifact I left behind. Back when I left, I placed the artifact in Ice Heart Valley's restricted area, and it should still be there. I understand. Yang Kai nodded with a serious expression before he stuffed the 2 tokens into his space ring. Take this as well. Bing Yun suddenly took out a bead, her expression heavy. Yang Kai's eyes lit up as he exclaimed, an Emperor Authority bead. He was very familiar with this pill-like item. Back in the 4 Seasons realm, he obtained the Flowing Time Great Emperor's Emperor Authority bead, which he later used in the Thousand Leaves sect's small sealed world. When it was unleashed, flowing time force filled the whole area, obliterating the Third Order Emperor Realm corpse puppet. During that time, Yang Kai had taken advantage of the flowing time force to break through to the Third Order Dao Source realm. Emperor Authority beads contained a single full-powered strike of an Emperor Realm master. However, not every Emperor Realm cultivator could refine such a treasure. One needed to be at least a second-order Emperor Realm master to create one, and it required a huge amount of time and energy to do so. Such items were given to promising juniors of the younger generation to use as life-saving tools. Each Emperor Realm master couldn't create too many Emperor Authority beads, with 3 being the limit during one's lifetime. If they exceeded that number, they would inevitably damage their foundation. Yang Kai didn't expect that Bing Yun would be so generous, going as far as to give him an Emperor Authority bead to protect himself. This is the Emperor Authority bead, the first refined after reaching the Third Order Emperor Realm. Inside is sealed a secret technique of mine. Use it with caution. Yang Kai happily received the bead and stored it away carefully. He then stood up and bowed. Junior will set out immediately. Remember to be careful. If you're spotted, immediately take out my token. If you do that, those little girls won't dare to attack you, Bing Yun urged. Yang Kai grinned, with senior's assurance, I have nothing to fear. He turned around then and left. In accordance with Bing Yun's rules, Ice Heart Valley had no male disciples. The situation was the same as Ice Heart Valley on Scarlet Wave Star. When Yang Kai visited that place in the past, he found no male disciples. There were only women, each beautiful in their own right. Every man that stepped in Ice Heart Valley was bound to be dazzled. Usually, this type of task should not have fallen on his shoulders, but among the disciples Bin Yun currently had with her, the strongest one was Fan Xin, and she was only a second-order Dao Source cultivator. Moreover, the difference in strength between her and Yang Kai was immense. For this reason, Bing Yun could only ask Yang Kai for help. Yang Kai was also clear about this. Moreover, other than those tokens, Bing Yun had also given him an Emperor Authority bead, so it was clear how much importance she attached to this matter. With these various shields protecting him, he shouldn't have too many problems while investigating Ice Heart Valley's situation. Ice Heart Valley wasn't far from Ice Moon City, and it was possible to reach it after flying for around 1 hour. Ice Moon City was the hub that the sect used to keep in touch with the external world and exchange commodities. If it was too far away, it would lose its function. Yang Kai didn't disturb any of the others and quietly left Ice Moon City, heading towards Ice Heart Valley. When the sky started to become dark, he arrived at the sect's border. Ice Heart Valley was located in a huge mountain valley surrounded by tall hills, which made it easy to defend but hard to attack. The surroundings were beautiful, and the world energy here was rich. From the looks of it, Bing Yun chose this place very carefully. There was certainly a very good earth vein running below this land, otherwise, the world energy here wouldn't be so rich. The only entrance to Ice Heart Valley was a 1,000 meters tall valley mouth. However, the corridor was guarded by female disciples, and it was impossible to get past them undetected. Yang Kai couldn't use the main entrance to get inside as he was on a secret mission to find the disciple who had contacted Bing Yun and inquire about Ice Heart Valley's situation. He checked the outer area of the sect for some time before heading in a certain direction. After a short while, he stopped, released his divine sense, and scanned the place in front of him. There was an invisible barrier that blocked his way. It was a spirit array protecting Ice Heart Valley. If someone touched it, the whole sect would be alerted. At that time, even Yang Kai would have a hard time escaping. Yang Kai didn't act rashly, choosing to hide nearby and calmly wait for an hour. After making sure that this place was deserted and no disciples were patrolling it, he took out Bing Yun's token and pointed it at the barrier. A ray of light shot out from the token, quietly opening a hole in the barrier. Yang Kai didn't waste time and dashed forward to get inside. Thanks to his mastery of space principles, he was like a ghost hiding in the shadows. At the same time, he activated his Nihility secret technique, concealing his aura to the limit. Yang Kai was able to infiltrate easily. It seemed that Bing Yun's token could really render every spirit array in Ice Heart Valley useless, a fact that made him feel relieved. He then took out the Jade token and began using it to trace the location of the communication artifact, quietly heading in that direction. The farther he advanced, the more auras he sensed. They were obviously disciples of Ice Heart Valley. As it was one of the top sects in the Northern Territory, it was bound to have a lot of disciples. However, no one Yang Kai encountered was too powerful, the strongest of them being in the Dao Source realm. With his current strength and his aura concealing secret technique, they couldn't detect him. Around an hour later, Yang Kai was moving past a certain building and was about to head into the depths of the sect when he suddenly stopped, his expression becoming strange. The reason was that he heard a man talking. The voice came from the building beside him. Moreover, it wasn't only one person, but rather two men who seemed to be discussing something. What are these men doing in Ice Heart Valley? Yang Kai was stunned. Ice Heart Valley was an all-female sect, and men weren't allowed to enter it, much less join. Is it possible that some of the disciples couldn't bear the loneliness and decided to secretly sneak their lovers inside? The thought scared Yang Kai. If that was true, Ice Heart Valley's reputation would be ruined.